Creature Commandos is finally here, the first project from DC Studios, the first project in the new DCU. The first 2 episodes dropped last night, and I do want to talk about them, but there will be some spoilers. I'm going to talk about spoilers. I want to talk about what happened in these episodes, so if you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch this video. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Okay, so now that you've been warned, let's get into this. First and foremost, I have to talk about the animation. I know it's probably not going to be for everybody. I don't think everyone is going to be kind of crazy with this animation style. I personally really like it. I think it's beautiful. Definitely has a little bit of a comic book vibe to it to some extent, but all in all, the action sequences, when people are just kind of talking with each other, all of it looks great in my opinion. And the voice cast is great. Everybody plays their role extremely well. And at least for the first 2 episodes, the music and soundtrack is actually pretty crazy. But now we gotta get into the meat and potatoes. We gotta get into what these episodes go into. First episode is basically establishing this team. And because I already know that so many people are gonna bring this up, I'm just gonna lay this out here for you. This is technically James Gunn's 3rd time doing this whole like band of misfits becoming heroes sort of thing. He did it with Guardians of the Galaxy, he did it with the Suicide Squad when it was the DCEU, and now we've got Creature Commandos. And while I can certainly understand that some people would look at that and be like, oh, he's just rinse, wash, and repeating the same formula, I kind of look at it the fact that it's kind of amazing that he can pull it off and make you care about these misfits. I mean, let's just use Guardians of the Galaxy as a prime example. Be completely honest, before James Gunn's movies, before his Guardians movies, did any of you actually care about the Guardians of the Galaxy like that? My guess is probably not. They were a much lesser known team, much lesser known comic altogether. James Gunn and what he was able to do with his movies made people genuinely care about this team. He's really good at it. He's really good at making you care about a group of misfits that's not great people by any stretch. And after these first 2 episodes, he's done it again. Like I was saying, the first episode kind of establishes the entire team. You know, Dr. Phosphorus, the Bride, so on and so forth. We do get Rick Flag Sr., who is actually voiced by the same actor who's going to be playing him in live action, which again is a really cool thing from James Gunn. Everything that's happening in Creature Commandos is happening in the DCU. I just really like that consistency. Rick Flag Sr. goes to meet Amanda Waller in this super high-tech prison where he basically finds all these monsters and creatures, and essentially there's a little bit of backstory where Amanda like apologizes for his son, obviously referencing what happened in the Suicide Squad when Rick Flag was killed by Peacemaker. So at least what we know is that Peacemaker is canon in the DCU, and we know at least that aspect of the Suicide Squad is canon in the DCU. By the way, this show takes place, I think, 2 years after Suicide Squad. I'm pretty sure that's what Amanda said. Again, I don't know if all the characters and everything that happened in the Suicide Squad is canon to the DCU, but we do know that that aspect is. So this is where Rick Flag Sr. makes this task force, and their job basically is to go to this country in Europe where they have to protect this princess from Cersei. The team has to work together. They have to fall in line, because if they don't, Rick Flag Sr. and I presume Amanda Waller has a device that detonates this electrical current that's super, super painful going off in their brains. So anyway, they get to this country, they meet this princess, and bro, this princess has the hots for Rick Flag Sr. She literally says in the episode that, yeah, I'm into older guys, and Rick Flag Sr., you know, he's a handsome older guy. Anyways, after like their first day there, Dr. Phosphorus tries to steal the device that puts off that thing in their brains, and he fights Rick Flag Sr. It's a really sick scene, beautifully animated. Also, in this episode, we get an idea that the Bride has been here before. She has some history here before, but we don't know anything about it, at least in the first episode. Because the second episode, we get all of the context, and man, it is crazy. Also, I have to point out at the end of the first episode, this old lady sees the Bride go into this like abandoned like mansion warehouse type of place that she obviously is familiar with. She opens up her phone, and her wallpaper is a picture of Zac Efron. I just thought that was so funny. I was laughing. But she ends up calling Frankenstein. Frankenstein's like, oh my god, my bride is back, oh my gosh. And that's when we get into the second episode, where we see all of the Bride's backstory, or at least the majority of it, when she was created, her relationship with her actual creator, not Frankenstein, but Victor. You see the Bride slowly learning to become human, slowly learning all these things. Victor is being very nice and polite to her, you know, giving her this really cool gift, this necklace that she's very, very fond of. It's like a pink necklace. And all the while, Frankenstein is just jealous. He is jealous beyond belief. And we end up finding out that, yeah, the bride and Victor had a very intimate relationship. Yeah, this episode has some smashing in it, not just for the bride, but for Rick Flag Sr. and the princess. It's this point in the episode where he's like stuck in this bathroom from the wounds after his fight with Dr. Phosphorus. He has no choice but to just go ham. Again, really ballsy of James Gunn to have this be the beginning, the introduction to the DCU, just having completely open smashing sessions. Very unexpected, but appreciated. I kind of like that risk that he's taking. Anyways, getting back to the bride and basically Frankenstein's jealousy, it gets to a point where he kills Victor in a very horrible way, and he's still so convinced that he and the bride are meant to be together. They are just made for each other. The bride, not feeling that whatsoever. She is so mad. Next thing you know, we see a montage of literally centuries going by of them constantly fighting each other and constantly the bride trying to get away from him, with another very interesting soundtrack going on during the whole montage. Also, I just have to give a shout out to Nina. She's the aqua person that can only breathe underwater. She's basically that fish person. She's such a cool character, super nice, super respectful. She was following the bride. She followed along with her to this place, and now she's just getting the raw end of it, because then Cersei finds out that they're there. She and the bride fight. It's a really cool sequence. The episode basically ends with both of them on the ground, about to pass out. And that's the first 2 episodes of Creature Commandos. Another thing that I really appreciate is that these are just 22, 24-minute episodes. They're not long at all. And while, yes, we did get the first 2 episodes in one night, the rest of them, the next 5 episodes, I think it is, will be releasing on a weekly basis. Classic television is back. And yeah, I am hooked. I'm hooked on this story. I'm hooked with these characters. I want to know more about their backstories. I want to know more about G.I. Robot and his just obsession with Nazis. It's just hilarious that this guy, all he cares about in life is killing Nazis. I want to know about Phosphorus. I want to know more. Weasel's Weasel. I'm not sure if there's going to be a backstory with him, but who knows? James Gunn could surprise us. But at the end of the day, I think this is a very good beginning to this series. Now, it has gotten very good reviews from people that have seen the whole season early, so I'm expecting this to be very good for the rest of it, but so far, I am hooked. I think they did a really good job with these first 2 episodes. Also, kind of funny that James Gunn put himself in animated form in the show's actual intro. I just thought that was kind of a funny touch. But yeah, episodes 1 and 2, great. Can't wait for episode 3. Let me know in the comments what you thought. What did you think about Creature Commandos? And until next time, peace.